Thank you so much. We shall start the first technical session right away in 1 or 2 minutes. Please be seated.
Good morning. Hi.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Hello.
CMA Ashwin Dalwadi,
CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay,
CMA Neeraj Joshi.
CMA Rajendra Singh Bhati.
CMA Ramesh Chandra Patra.
CMA Subhashish Chakraborty.
This is Vinay Ranjan.
I am Rajesh Kumar Dwivedi.
I CMA Mukesh Agarwal.
This is Rakesh Kumar Jay.
Ramesh Kumar Das.
Baidyanath Maharana.
CMA Dr. Prasanna Kumar Acharya.
I am Amitav Mukherjee. I am Gaurav Gulati.
CMA Jatin Kumar.
I, CMA Dr. Deva Prasanna Nandi, I am delighted to extend a warm invitation to you all, professional colleagues, students, and stakeholders.
My heartfelt greetings to all my professional colleagues.
We warmly invite all CMAs and others across the country to participate in the
62nd National Cost and Management
Accountants Convention, NCMAC 2025.
Scheduled at Bhubaneswar from May 23rd to 25th.
this year's theme, Corporate Excellence CMA Vision.
Which reflects the Institute's unwavering commitment to redefining the role of CMAs as strategic partners.
Cost controlling, cost optimization, financial reporting, sustainability reporting, integrated reporting.
We are strategic enablers, we are decision makers, and we are innovation drivers.
In this convention, we also plan to have a special CMA leaders meet.
A space to learn, to share, to inspire one and another.
CMAs are now expected to contribute beyond traditional roles by providing data-driven insights.
In guiding business towards efficiency, sustainability, and long-term growth.
We will discuss the enhancing role of the cost accountants and the professional journeys.
The Institute has been consistently contributing to the country's industrial and economic development and truly deserves appreciation for this remarkable service.
The CMA Institute has produced thousands of finance professionals who have rose to the level of CEOs and CFOs.
CMAs hold key positions in capital-intensive industries and policy-making corridors. We are the enablers of growth.
This institute is empowering professionals by nurturing future-ready practices, competencies, and innovative approaches.
CMAs are now integrating data analytics, artificial intelligence, and sustainability metrics into conventional financial frameworks.
I owe all my knowledge and my recognition to this institute.
The concept of Divya Drishti, meaning the ability to see beyond immediate financial indicators and provide strategic direction that drives corporate excellence.
CMA are not just a professional for managing numbers. You are strategic partners, policy influencers, guardians for fiscal discipline, working across both corporate and public sector.
With AI, ESG, and automation reshaping businesses, CMAs are expected to go beyond numbers.
Cost accountants are their very nature. They contribute to the cost reduction and cost control of every product and services.
The convention planned by the ICMI is a commendable initiative that resonates with the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of a self-reliant, innovative, and globally
I
competitive.
request everyone to please.
CMA can play a business leader role.
Please take your seats. We'll start the technical session now. Everybody is requested to please sit. I request everyone to please be seated to start the technical session. May I request CMA CHVN Krishna Kishorji, Senior General Manager Finance of Coromandel International Limited, to please come on to the dais. CMA CHVN Krishna Kishorji. Sir. I request CMA Ramadas Tamil Selvan, Group CFO and Risk and Business Transformation Officer, RMB Group, Dubai, to please come on to the dais. CMA Ramadas Tamil Selvan. Now I take the opportunity of requesting CMA Bikas Prasad, Group CFO of UPL Limited. CMA Bikas Prasad, Group CFO of UPL Limited. I request Sri M. Nagesh Babu, Principal Counselor, CII TCM, to please come on to the dais. CMA M. Nagesh Babu, Principal Counselor, CII TCM. I request CMA Rakesh Kumar Jainji, Director Finance of GAIL India Limited, to please come on to the dais. I request also CMA Ashwinji Jalwadi sir, immediate past President, ICMAI. And I also request CMA Avijit Goswami sir, Council Member of the Institute, to please come on to the dais to start the first technical session of second day of 62nd NCMAC. Ladies and gentlemen, the first session of the second day, first technical session of the second day would be on the total cost management and perpetual cost management. Amongst us, we have great speakers. I would take the privilege of introducing you to the first speaker of this session, CMA Rakesh Kumar Jain sir. He is also the Director of Finance of GAIL India Limited. He is a cost and management accountant by profession for over 33 years. He has been working in the oil and gas sector. Prior to his appointment as Director of Finance, Sri Jain held the position of Executive Director F&A HOD in GAIL. Additionally, he also holds the position of Chairman in GAIL Global USA Inc., GAIL Global USA LNG, Avantika Gas Limited, GAIL Global IFSC Limited, and Director in GAIL Gas Limited. As an Executive Director of F&A and HOD, he headed corporate finance and was actively involved in mobilization of funds from domestic and international markets. Besides serving as a long tenure at GAIL, he was on deputation to the Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Body as Junior Advisor, Commercial and Finance. During his stint at PNGRB, he was actively engaged in the review of tariff regulations, conceptualization of unified tariff, authorization of CGD, 9th and 10th bidding rounds, finance functions, etc. Sir, it's an honor to have you with us. May I request CMA Saktidhar Singh, a past chairman of the Bhubaneswar chapter, to welcome CMA Rakesh Kumar Jain, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now I take the privilege of introducing you to the next speaker of this session, Shri M. Nagesh Babu, Principal Counselor of CII TCM. He is a management accountant by profession and has been passionately driving the modern tools of cost management in the industry since 25 years. He holds a degree in commerce with major in cost management. As Principal Counselor with CII TCM division, he has been striving to take cost management to greater heights in the industry through research, execution, and application. He has been the part of CII assessment to certify about 75 major corporates on the cost maturity hierarchy. Godrej and Boyce, Tata Motors, ITC, JCB, Kirloskar are the likes of companies rated through the above model. He has been part of the core team to create and conceptualize TCM model service sector, which is now operating as pilot studies. So thank you so much for coming today. May I request CMA Bibek Prajapati to please welcome Shri M. Nagesh Babu, Principal Counselor of CII TCM. Sakti sir. Can we have a huge round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen? Now I take the privilege of introducing you to the next speaker. We have with us CMA Bikash Prasad. He is a Group CFO Designate of UPL Limited. He is a leader of sustainable agri-products and solution with presence in over 130 countries, awarded for academic excellence by the Finance Minister. He is a member of the Institute of Management Accountants USA and holds an observer's seat at the IFAC PAIB. Previously, he was the president and CFO at Olam Agri during his 19-year tenure with the Olam Group. With over 25 years of experience, he has led corporate restructuring, IPO readiness, private placements, finance strategy, and digital transformation. His expertise spans governance, risk management, ESG, and finance business partnerships. Sir, it's an honor to have you with us. May I request CMA Govardhan Naik, member of the Cuttack chapter of ICMAI, to please welcome CMA Bikash Prasad, Group CFO of UPL Limited. CMA Govardhan Naik from Cuttack chapter of ICMAI to welcome CMA Bikash Prasad. ପ୍ରାଣବନ୍ଧୁ ଦିବସ ନାଇଁ ଶୁଣ ଶୁଣ Now I take the honor of introducing you to CMA Tamil Selvan Ramadas. He is a certified management and public accountant with more than 20 professional certifications. He is also a seasoned strategic finance and business transformation professional trained from Harvard B School with international accreditations in finance, accounting, project management, international arbitration, risk management, and maritime economics and finance. He has more than 25 years of international corporate world experience across 20 plus verticals ranging from international maritime sector, Dubai ports and free zones, Dubai government, Jebel Ali Free Zone and regulatory bodies, real estate, hospitality, banking, electronic and home appliances. He also has experience in hygiene, wet tissues, industrial transformers and hydroponic farming. Ranked as top 100 leaders in finance in the year 2021 and awarded Outstanding Leadership Award for the Finance in 2022. CMA Ramadas is also serving as the advisory member of the Research Committee and also a thought leadership member of the Code of Ethics Committee at the Institute of Management Accountants, United States. So thank you so much for coming. It's an honor to have you with us. May I request CMA Jyoti Prakash Mishra to please welcome CMA Ramadas Tamil Silvan, sir. Thank you so much, Jyoti. Now, the last speaker of this session, amongst us we have CMA CH VSN Krishna Kishore. He is a Senior General Manager of Coromandel International Limited. He has 28 years of experience in management accounting, costing, financial accounting, finance, taxation, project finance. He has worked for 5 years as cost reduction consulting expert and implementation of several projects yielding several hundreds of crores in the companies like Pfizer, Hitero and Cadila Pharmaceuticals. Has expertise in projects, commercial and marketing finance. Apart from this, he is also involved in social service, heading a charitable society and extending helping hands. He also has received national level awards among platinum awardees in NG prediction modeling and Shine Award in passion category. He is also an MD and CEO. He also received an award as an MD and CEO from the best performance in Murugappa Group. So thank you so much for coming today. May I request Sarat Chandra Behra CMA, the Vice Chairperson of Bhubaneswar Chapter to welcome CMA CH VSN Krishna Kishore, sir. Thank you, Behra sir. Before I invite the immediate past president for his welcome address, I have a small announcement. We have a sponsored gift by MGM Minerals Limited. Coupons are available at the registration counter. So you can collect the coupons and the drop box is also available at the registration counter. You need to listen up. The following people are not eligible for this particular sponsored gift. The first are the council members. Second, regional council members of all the 4 regions are not eligible to get the gift. Managing committee member of the Bhubaneswar chapter are not eligible to get the gift. And employees of the institute, the head office, regional office and the chapter office are also not eligible to get the gift. So you can collect the coupons and drop it off in the box itself. And the coupons will be picked up on 25th May 2025 at 6 p.m. And the rules are very simple. Physical presence of everybody whosoever wants to win a gift is required in the hall, not in the campus, in the hall. Thank you so much. You need not go now, you can go afterwards. With this, I would like to request the immediate past president of the institute, CMA Ashwinji Dalwadi sir, to please give his welcome address.
Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to everyone present here. Honorable CMA Rakesh Kumarji, GAIL India Limited, Shri Nagesh Babuji from CII DCM Initiative, CMA Bikas Prasadji, Group CFO UPL Limited, CMA Ramdas Tamil Selvanji, Group CFO and Risk Business Information Officer RMB Group, Dubai, and my very old colleague, CMA Krishna Kishore ji, Senior General Manager, Finance, Coromandel International Limited. My colleague and Central Council member, CMA Avijit ji. My colleague, council colleague and other colleagues of the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to welcome you at this 62nd NCMAC and particularly to the session on total cost management and perpetual cost management. At the outset, I extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to our distinguished, esteemed speakers and all participants for joining this session. Total cost management is a comprehensive approach that integrates planning, control, and performance management across the entire value chain of an organization. It ensures that cost efficiency is built into the strategy, design, operations, and even retirement of products or services. ICMAI and CII TCM initiative have got MOU to propagate the initiative for the optimizing cost structures, TCM components, and this initiative particularly aims to optimize the cost structures and enhance competitiveness of Indian industries on a global scale. It is simply a company-wide systematic approach to understand and managing the cost within the organization. The TCM division and this ICMAI jointly aims to enhance the cost competitiveness of Indian industry by providing framework for controlling, reducing, strategizing, and eliminating unnecessary cost throughout the value chain. It focuses on aligning the cost management with the business strategy, designing efficient business models, and optimizing value chain efficiency. Under this MOU, we are going to provide joint training to the participants and expand the reach of this TCM initiative to the industry all across the India. The another subtopic is about the perpetual cost management. I tell you, we Indians talk about the culture. Here we are talking about the culture in form of TCM, that cost saving, cost management, cost strategizing is not part of the one-time exercise. It is a continuous exercise, and it should be the part of the culture of the organization. That is where we are doing it. And perpetual cost management leads to the continuous process of optimizing cost and strategies throughout the organization. So I am sure our speakers will provide us a good intake to take home. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dalwadi sir. Now I request the chairman of this session, CMA Rakesh Kumar Jain sir, Director Finance of GAIL India Limited. He is the chairman of the session. He is also the moderator of this session. Sir, now I hand over the session to you.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you all, my co-panelist and past president, Shri Ashwinji. Let me first of all congratulate Institute of Cost Accountant for having national convention. It's the 62nd in row, which is a really remarkable achievement. And having first technical session, which is TCM and PCM. I think there can be no more relevant topic than this today. And why? This is the era where a lot of competition is happening. And what price you can have the product in market, it's decided by market. No company has an ability to decide the price. I am assuming that quality is same. And when that is so, what plays an important role? In my view, it's cost. Whosoever is cost competitive certainly will have the upper hand. And that's how in this background, this is a very, very relevant topic. And before I start inviting my co-panelists, I also want to set a background. How TCM comes and what TCM includes. It starts when you start thinking, say, of project or a product. When you think of a project, you think some kind of an estimate. That estimate can be an initial estimate, which may have wide variance as compared to actuals, which may also have some contingencies, a wider contingency. Then you start thinking of alternatives, what kind of alternatives in order to achieve that product or project you may have. You may build the project, you may expand the project, you may acquire the project, or you may not do the project. That's also an alternative. And when you arrive at an alternative, then start some kind of freezing the cost. What cost? That includes procurement, contracts, some kind of resources. All these are cost. And what for? Ultimately money. You want to have certain IRR. And in order to achieve that IRR, you need to be within the range of total cost. Because certain things you have envisaged, you need to achieve that. And therefore, there has to be a mechanism in terms of cost monitoring. And I believe total cost management is a comprehensive basis which includes planning, the monitoring, the budgeting part, and then monitoring. Now, whether the total cost management is different than the perpetual cost management, in my view, both are not unrelated. One is, a periodical review in your kind of system. Another is the real-time review. You need to every time monitor that so that you apply the efficiencies, technologies, whatever you can do to better the cost. So that's how you can say that PCM can be a part of that, supportive of that, and therefore these are not unrelevant or they are related subject, not unrelated. Now, what our organization does, I request participants if they can share their own experiences, what they are doing in terms of total cost management, and how a CMA, as a CMA can play a role. If I get a time, I will certainly share what we do to manage the cost in terms of total cost management and perpetual cost management. I can give the real life examples and share with you. And in terms of CMA's roles, CMAs are in a better position because the total cost management or perpetual cost management requires like process re-engineering, the data analytics, use of technologies, can be all these things they can put in perspective and enable the actually success of the achievement of total cost or rather reduction of cost. Now, is the cost only relevant? In my view, there are two parts to it. One is cost and time. Time is also cost. Even if you achieve something within the cost and you overrun the time, still you have a challenge. And that therefore the time and cost both needs to be managed. So how do you plan? What are the groups who will be following? Like we in our organization have one group which develop the project, another group which carry out the execution of project, and third group which is actually following with various contractors and suppliers so that the real-time materials are delivered. There is no delay. For example, if you mechanical, electrical, instrumentation contractor have done their job, but civil engineer has not done the job, and therefore their project gets delayed. So therefore there is no meaning. There has to be synchronization between these two, and therefore there has to be one group who follows that. All these are important, time and cost. So total cost management, in my view, does not only include the cost part of it, which normally we talk in normal parlance. The time is significantly important, because even if you delay a project by say 6 months or 1 year, your net present value of the or the cost or IRR goes down. So therefore that has to be also kept in mind, and wherein the process of monitoring is very important, and as a CMA professionals we all can contribute it. So I have been given around for this moderation of panel around say 70 minutes from now. We have to end at 1:30. So, or even less than that, 1 hour, and we have 5 panelists. So, I request all of them to have 12 minutes each so that everybody has time to submit or give its own view. So, in order, I request Mr. Nagesh Babu, Principal Counselor, CIA TCM, to kindly come and present his views. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody. So, it is an honor to get an invite from the Institute to be part of this session. And let me also set a context for this. On October 23rd, 2024, CII had the honor of having the visit from high-power delegation from ICMA. There we had the current president, vice president, and 4 past presidents visiting us, collaborating to work together to get this off the platform, to work together and have a better reach out. So the concept per se, what CII has been doing for a couple of decades, just let me take you through. So CII has got, besides the policy framework, we also have a centers of excellences, and TCM is one of it. And we also have a governance structure in place. We have Mr. Girish, ED, Tata Motors, sharing this, and about 18 CXOs meet thrice a year to provide industry inputs to take this forward. And the challenge today globally is to keep the cost down. And it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare, and probably 10 years back, 20 years back, the causal of cost was known, but today it's unknown. It's actually unknown why the costs are being incurred. And let's see why. So it's a huge business challenge. You take any sector, it's a huge business challenge, and coming from external point of view, and which eventually convert into cost. So typically we have industry cyclical trends and volatility, commodity currency fluctuation, and it's something which, as we have seen in the last 2 decades, it's something companies envisage before it comes, that we call them as high maturity companies. There are some challenges which incur and then we treat them after they incur, but they are both. And the impact of all the costs, whatever we speak, it's all about our margins. And where are we in terms of the corporate margins? It's about 4.8% to GDP, which is not so great. Let me tell you, the developed nations are about 8 to 9%. This is something which we have to think of. All this translates to, are we competitive? is the Indian industry competitive in the world? There are enough testimonials to say both yes and no, but nevertheless, we are on the journey. This is just a week back testimonial. Last 1 year, industries could make margins just through addressing costs. Just through addressing costs. Then you can envisage how costs become strategically important for the industry. The purpose of the division is to enhance the overall competitiveness of the industry. But when you look at the word competitiveness, earlier, can I have some water, please? Earlier, the competition was equated to competitiveness. No more. No more. I think the word competitiveness is grown beyond the multiple players in the industry. So, what is it? So let me skip through some slides since Chairman has given some shorter time cycle than was envisaged. So we have some service verticals which actually run through the industry. All are active right now, and one of it is a training which we envisage to work together with the Institute for the industry. This is something we have heard often. So why cost becomes important to the company? It's the context of the cost, it's the cost envisaged per se, and how do we see it as a profit as an outcome. So this is something which we have seen probably 30, 40 years back. But what is it now? Cost has become both strategic and operational. So from the strategy block point of view, it's the board and the CEO. They are allowed to envisage the external risks which eventually flow into the accounting system as cost, and also internally our efficiencies, operational efficiencies at the value chain level, how do they flow into the cost. So this is something which we'll have to elaborate in our minds to look at the causal factors of cost, not the number per se. And ultimately, the objective of the TCM in an industry, in a company, is all about achieving efficient cost structure, not the lowest cost structure. The efficient cost structure is all about how do we keep moving, and as Chairman said, not compromising on the quality. And there are some myths about the cost, which we have been navigating for long, but then all this have to have a drop-off sometime. What is it? Cost varies within output. Yes, typically we have heard this statement from across the companies. Standard costing, global cost averages, finance as the owner of cost, P&L reflects the profit streams, and data sources typically the trial balance, rupee value, and the budget. So I think we have moved ahead. I think CII in the last 2 decades, about 500 companies, we have sensitized, brought this framework, and this is the starting point for us. And what exactly TCM, as Mr. Dalwadi pointed out, it's about the management system per se, is not the accounting system. So I think we'll have to clearly distinguish this, and to determine the efficiency and effectiveness of the resource in the value chain, knock out the non-value added items. So when you look at costs, one component we tell companies is what the customer is not willing to pay has to get eliminated from the system. So that is the scrutiny which we have to look at. And typically, costs get connected to business and not just to the accounting system. And what exactly it means is the efficiency of the value chain should be a profit stream for the company. It's not just about the usual traditional profit levers like volume, price, and product mix. And this is something which I talked about. So the external influences and the internal influence of cost actually give way to the ultimate cost structure. Is it at a process level, product level, or the customer level? Ultimately, summing it at the profit. And the framework which CII with the industry inputs, and of course we had Mr. A.N. Raman, who has actually conceptualized this and driven this through the industry. We talk about how the external factors with the structured cost management system gives way to improved business metrics, competitive advantage, efficient value chain, resilient cost structure, and embedded economics in the business model. Because at a strategy level, the CEOs look at how is my business model economical, how is my product mix giving a better profit profile, and how is my value chain efficient. So if I'm getting these outcomes, I'm treating the cost better. Very simple. Where does the interventions happen? It happens on the strategy level. You will have to improve your business model efficiency. Earlier, it was a traditional business model where there was just buying and selling. But today, there's a phenomenal improvement in the number of business models which the companies work on. So at the strategy level, we'll have to look at the business model efficiency, technology costs. So what are the solutions for costs? Is it technology? Is it strategy? Is it productivity? Is it efficiency? So the interventions of at the strategy level have to be like this. The value chain, customer acquisition, and at an operational level, you look at cost of quality. All of this will not have a reflection in your books of accounts. However, we'll have to segregate this and identify and drive the cost optimization. At an operational level, cost of quality, resource efficiency, yield, and several other non-financial metrics. At a distribution level, it's all about the third part of the value chain. The logistics efficiency, dealer profitability, institutional profitability, category product, customer profitability. Most importantly, the price cost gaps. Price is at the global level, cost is at a unit level. So can we segregate this? Or vice versa. So it's the algorithms which we conceptualize and drive, which will actually create the architecture of TCM business. So some simple analogies in terms of how do we equate TCM at the business level. So summing it up, TCM is not to be seen just at a product level. It's all about the good understanding of cost. As I said, incidents and incurrence must be captured. And good response mechanism to cost. How quickly you respond? How quickly? And a culture of analyzing cost data. So this is all the analytics which Chairman spoke about. And finally, ability to relate cost to strategy. So much from my side. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Nagesh ji. Now I request Mr. Vikas Prasad, CFO UPL Limited, to give his perspective. Thank you.
President of our institute, Mr. B.B. Nayak ji, Vice President Srinivas Prasad ji, Central Council members, Regional Council members, past presidents, distinguished panelists sitting on the dais, and my fellow CMA Parivar. Good afternoon to all of you. I would like to thank the Institute first for picking up a topic which is very relevant in today's day. TCM and PCM is the difference between a company which can survive for eternity or the company can go burst. And I will give some stats here. So thanks to the Institute first for picking up this topic, TCM and PCM, which is very relevant in today's world. And I will substantiate with some examples. If you look at 58% of S&P 500 companies that existed in early 2000, no longer exist today. And either they have been acquired, they have been merged, or they have been bankrupt. The lifespan of the S&P 500 company, which used to be about 60 years, now has reduced to less than 20 years. And there is a projection that by 2035, 75% of the S&P 500 companies that existed in early 2020 will no longer be part of S&P 500. If you look at our environment where we are operating today, you all can see the impact of high inflation, which was a resultant of COVID, supply chain disruptions, the geopolitical conflicts started by Russia, Ukraine, and then expanded to other regions as well. The interest cost is at a decade high rate. The SOFR has gone up significantly. Earlier, the cost of financing in dollar was almost negligible, but now the cost of financing has significantly gone up. This puts a lot of pressure on the organization to be agile, to be sustainable, and to be competitive in the market. And hence, looking at the TCM and PCM is the need of an hour, and who can be better than the CMAs to look at it holistically, not just the product cost, but the cost of the services, the tax cost, the finance cost, and to make the business cost competitive and make your organizations competitive. So in this era, we all learned how to operate. We all learned how to operate under a VUCA-ism. So VUCA was introduced around 1980s. We all felt comfortable and we all learned how to operate. But now in the last 5 years, the VUCA has turned into BANI, which is brittle, anxious, non-linear, and incomprehensible. So we have to also adopt to the new methodology about managing these costs and making the organizations agile and successful. To play this role, the CMAs has a big responsibility. They have to become a strategic business partner. And business partner is a word which is very, again, I will say, vague. If we ask 10 of you, each of you will have a very different understanding of business partnership. And what does business partnership mean to each of us and to the organization? So what I have tried is just tried to share my perspective on what is business partnering and how CMAs can be a business partner, a strategic business partner, and can use TCM and PCM as a framework to achieve strategic business partnership. So if the business partnership can be played across the 4 roles by the CMAs, the first role is, we all understand, which is the bread and butter for all of us, which is the controllership role. Controllership role is nothing but keeping our organization safe from all the controllable losses, from all the reputational losses. And as part of the controllership, it means building efficiency, standardization, automation, a scalable organization, controls, and compliances. So that's the first role which the CMA can play to keep the organization safe from all the external factors. The second role as part of the business partnership is about performance management role. So each of the CMA can be a performance manager by keeping the organization on track against all the plans. And the plans can be the cost management plan, the annual operating plan, the strategic plan, the overheads plan, keeping all your organic capex on track against the initial investment thesis. So there are various roles that we can play to keep the organization on track against all our plans. The third role as part of the business partnership is about co-strategist or co-pilot, where we work jointly with the business team to drive the growth of the organization, and it means improving the margins, the market share, looking at corporate restructuring, looking at other initiatives, digital transformations to grow the business. And if you look at the first 3 roles, the controllership role, the performance manager role, and the co-strategist role, it's very difficult to quantify the impact on the bottom line. And each of us being an accountant, we would also like to see the impact on the bottom line. And hence, there is a fourth role that the CMAs can play is about Chief Value Officer role or the Value Manager role, where we can look at certain initiatives and impact the bottom line for the company, whether it is effective interest rate management or effective tax rate management, the choice of financing for a company, whether it should be local currency funded in the Indian context, whether it should be INR funded, it should be USD funded or Euro funded, we can look at various such initiatives and we can quantify the impact on the bottom line. So these are the 4 roles that the CMA plays today or can play as part of the business partnering. So this is the framework. Now we would like to see that how TCM and PCM can fit well within this business partnering framework. Do I change the slides? Yeah. So as we discussed that as a controllership, we have to keep the organization efficient, have a standardized processes, automate the processes, build the organization which is scalable without incurring additional cost. So if you look at the PCM framework, there are various activities that we can look at it. I've just shared a couple of here which can be looked at, and I'm sure it is being looked at by each of you in your respective organization. So what we have practiced, I have practiced in the last couple of years is first to start to look at the target operating model of the organization, that how do we operate as an organization. Today, for an organization, whether it's a domestic company or international company, there are different structures. There are country teams, there are regional teams, there are business unit teams, there are central finance team, corporate finance team, and then there is a GBS structure. How do we ensure that we structure the organization, we structure our respective functions so that we build not just the efficiency and standardization, but also the scale and the center of excellence, which can also have a huge impact on the cost of the different functions and the cost of the organization. So this is one area we can look at it. The second way to look at our cost of the function and the organization is about doing a spans and layers analysis. We can look at the spans of all the supervisory structure that is there in the company. And I feel that a span of 6 to 8 is very competitive. And if there is a more cost pressure, probably it can go up to 10. By looking at it in a very structured manner, we can reduce the cost of the functions, the organization, and hence it can improve the agility of the organizations. The third we can look at it is about how do we offshore certain activities to global business services, and we can build GCCs. GCCs and or the GBS is not just about offshoring the activity, but it creates the cost advantage. It creates the continuity of those processes. It builds the standardization of the processes, and it is scalable. So this is also one of the tools that can help us to reduce our cost. Second pillar, which is the performance manager, if you look at it, again, as a performance manager, there are various activities that each of the CMA can play, but I've just listed down a couple of them for our discussion. We can first look at the organic CapEx. I think the other fellow panelists also talked about the project cost. Project cost has a large impact, big cost. So how do we look at project cost? And each component of the cost, breaking it down into WBS or work breakdown structure, looking at the different milestones, looking at the contract evaluation process, ensuring that we are keeping the cost on check, looking at how the project has to be financed. There are various aspects of this project cost which can be looked at it, and eventually it can be digitized. How do we use the digital tools to monitor the project cost across the cycle of the project? And similar to the organic CapEx, which is the project, we can also look at the mergers and acquisitions. Suppose any mergers and acquisition that we do, we look at how do we also create synergies post the acquisitions. So the post-merger integration becomes very, very important part. And again, if once we are able to digitize the entire post-merger integration exercise, we will be able to track the synergies. And CMAs have a very, very important role to play, that how we can leverage and we can ensure that all the synergies that has been baked in to the initial investment thesis are being actually been actualized. Then Similarly, now we have in the on the core strategy side, there are various things that we can do jointly with the business team to ensure that we keep the cost on check. And the last, on the value manager side, if you look at it, we can look at effective interest rate, effective tax rate, the funding mix, driving the cost transformation within the organization and for our functions, which can keep the organization on check. Now, to play these roles on the TCM and PCM, there are 4 key enablers. We can look at it. How do we build the capable team? Once we have the capable team, they will understand the entire cost management aspects holistically. They will leverage the technology, the processes, the right KPIs that is needed for the cost transformation and driving the PCM. And also the culture part is equally important. 60 to 70% of the cost-cutting initiatives have not been able to generate sustainable results because either the cost consciousness culture is not there or that discipline is missing. So by looking at these 4 enablers and looking at these 4 pillars, I think each of us as a cost and management accountant can deliver on the TCM and PCM and can effectively become a strategic business partner. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikas ji. And now I request Mr. Ramadas Tamil Selvan to take us through his views.
Yes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Can you all just get up and sit one side? Because the science of physiology says that you should move your body at least every half an hour. I think we are not moving it for the last 2 hours, right? Thanks a lot for that. With that note, I've just landed in Orissa today for the first time at the land of temples, the city of temples. Learned a little bit of Odia. Kimiti achinti apno? Apan mano kushito? Thanks a lot for that. Thanks for the entire cost accounting body, the leadership, everybody to invite me. I'm Tamil Ramdas from Dubai. And the previous speaker, Mr. CMA Bikachi, is my close friend. We used to work a lot in the Dubai chapter of cost accountants also. So what is that we are talking about today is all about cost management, right? But let me start from a very macro level that we are talking about the Viksit Bharat for 2047, correct? You know, what is the level of economy we are planning to reach? Today morning, the Honorable Member of Rajya Sabha, Sujit Singh, this is the level of growth we want to achieve. And if you look at the level of morning, I think Mr. Gadia was talking about the service sector's importance. That's improving. Also more, Make in India, that's improving a lot. That's what you can see in the slides where by 2040-47, the industry sector is going to go from 26% to 34%. Now, if we talk about the achievements that India has done in the 2024 alone, top 5 sectors in terms of pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, defense, nuclear, energy and space, you can see India has developed the first ever indigenous antibiotic medicine. Give a big hand for that. We also developed the next car system of having the cell therapy for the first time indigenously in India. And if you talk about space, if you talk about, we are the first 3 or 4 countries in the world to launch successfully, right? All the missiles, I'm not talking about the missile which has gone to the other country, sorry for that. I'm just talking about the space technology. We are very precise and cost effective in making that. And that's going to be a $44 billion achievement in terms of GDP contribution by 2033. If you talk about biotechnology, it has gone 13-fold from 2014 to 2024, which has gone from 10 billion to almost 130 billion. If you talk about nuclear energy, it's getting tripled. All these are possible only because of the TGG, which is called the technology and good governance. And that's not enough. And that's the topic of today. We are all talking about the cost management, right? And we are these proud CMAs who contribute to all the success by managing the cost more effectively and efficiently, correct? What is this cost management talks about? We need to have a proper cost accounting so that we can control it, then we can even reduce it, correctly called as the cost management. Now, if you talk about the cost management, cost reduction, cost technology that is going in line with the technology transformation. If you look at the slide, it says the technology has transformed in the last almost 200 years from steam engine, right? Then we went to electricity. From electricity, we went to electronics. And now, all combined, put together, we have robotics. And morning, the Rajya Sabha member, honorable member, talked about a lot on AI, right? Now, do you think the cost management can be devoid of this technology? Do you think so? I don't think so. So we have to travel with that. In fact, we are one of the leaders. We need to take this technology to the advantage to the cost management. And if you talk about what are the technologies that is impacting, that is Industrial Revolution 4.0, if you talk about it, digital twins, how that can be useful for cost management, we'll touch upon that. IoT, Internet of Things, artificial AR and VR, correct? Augmented reality and virtual reality. If you talk about digital biomarkers, supply chain IoT, international space economy, digital sovereignty, and very importantly, today you're going to get introduced to a very new term. I'm going to really take some credit to that, but I'll let you know what is that. That's going to be from the quantum financial system. Now, all these are possible because of one technology that has ever been new to the world, where humans have created a lot of technology in the past, but for the first ever time, they created something similar to them, correct? That's what artificial intelligence is about, and cost management cannot be devoid of this artificial intelligence technology. If we talk of every industry, in terms of the training, in terms of adoption, there are various stages of, if you can see, in terms of education and training, in terms of insurance and financial services, the use of AIs are getting very high. That's a use case where we can see a lot of AI technology being used across the globes in various industries. Now let's talk about the emerging global practice in cost management. The first and foremost thing is, the way we're going to do the decision support is going to have a transformational change. Because of what? Before, only humans plus humans plus humans were behind the decision making. Correct? Behind every successful decision making, there is a CMA, we say, right? I think we'll change the logo in future. Behind every successful business decision, there is CMA plus AI. That's going to be the thing where we are talking about descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive analytics. Descriptive tells about what is happening. Diagnostic tells about why it is happening. Predictive talks about what will happen, and prescriptive is going to tell you what is the solution or what is the remedy for what is going to happen like that. In that way, we cannot be devoid of decision making without the AI technology helping us. Robots are going to be your advisors, but some things robots still miss, so we are going to be surpassing them in that particular aspect. But the decision maker is not going to be devoid of AI technology. And if you talk about the role of AI in cost management and analysis, I've just put down a lot of thoughts on this, but each one of this topic in itself is a 1 or 2 hour discussion. But just to give a highlight, it's basically the cost optimization, streamlined expense tracking, strategic integrated smart planning. Most of the time we make budgeting in organization devoid of strategy. Strategy goes one way, cost goes, management or the budgeting goes one way. So we have to make a smart and predictive analytics, encumbrance accounting. How many of you still do the budget control variance reporting? I'm saying that syllabus is going to be taken out very soon from the cost accounting also, because there is a real-time budgetary control where right from the budget is getting utilized at the purchase order level itself, you have a control. Not that budget is allowed to vary and then you do a damage control saying that there's a post-mortem reporting. No, we are talking about real-time budgetary control system, which is technically called as the encumbrance accounting. You talk about a very important term I'm going to introduce today. I'm very proud to that. Something called as quantum costing. Any of you have heard that term? We all heard, maybe some pure science students who know what is quantum physics. From the quantum physics, there is something called quantum computing. From the quantum computing, now finance is also taking advantage where it says every in-grain of the money spent, 360 degree of that we can find it. For example, a lot of governments are now talking about introducing quantum finance system in the world where, or in the country, every $1, every 1 rupee spent by a person in the country, it's going to be traced. So anti-money laundering is going to be very easy control now. So taking the quantum financing concept to the next level, we have something called quantum costing. What is quantum costing? Every single dollar spent in your manufacturing service or any unit can be monitored. The root cause can be understood. That is going to be a transformation in the costing methodology itself and how do you allocate your overheads. the concept of allocation of overheads is going to be taken out of your curriculum because of quantum costing. And we have cloud-based cost management systems, RPAs, robotic process automations. You talk about various processes are getting automated where the overall cost in processing the financial data itself is getting reduced. And that can give you a lot of insights. This is what I was talking about, quantum costing, where if you go through this slide later on, maybe I can share it. This institute can change it to you. And basically, it's talking from a macro level of controlling the every dollar spent in, and that technique is going to be used in costing as well. So what is the impact of that? We were talking about tracing the cost and allocating the cost, correct? In order to control and manage the cost tracing is very, very important. When you come to the direct material cost, you could trace it greatly. When you come to the labor cost, there are some variable direct labor costs which you can trace, but there are common labor cost which is still difficult to trace. And leave alone overhead cost, that has been always a great topic where we need to allocate. And number of lectures has been going on this for studying CMA program or any program. What are the methodologies of allocating the overhead cost? I'm going to tell you now, the concept of allocation is based on appropriation of the cost on a very approximate manner, where in the last decades before, we reached till activity-based costing, correct? Tracing the cost till the activity level. But even at the activity level, the cost is not getting very accurately allocated. So for that matter, we can go from ABC to quantum costing, where the accurate overhead cost can be not allocated. It can be traced. What is the helpfulness of this? It helps you in finding the cost perfectly, accurately to the dot. And to till date, we cost accountants did not have a technology. Thanks to all this quantum computing, where it can get to the grain of the cost at every level, and there is no need for allocation, we'll be getting into only tracing. So we are in a transformative time, we are in the flux of time where AI is going to help you the way you are talking about the cost and how do you allocate it. And if you talk about digital twins, this is one more thing I want to talk about. Digital twin is nothing but creating a replica. I would say a replica in terms of system, in terms of a product, without actually producing it. We in Dubai do a lot of real estate construction projects. You might be aware of it. Now, the technology is, how do you control the project cost? The project cost is controlled in a very difficult manner. We do not know how the Burj Khalifa is going to be constructed. Now, they use a lot of AI technology using the digital twins. The Burj Khalifa or any other building will be having a system or a soft replica of that, so that at every level when the cost is incurred, we will know how to adjust it. And every change that is going to happen in the building structures, in terms of civil structures, what is the cost in cement, in terms of steel, in terms of whatever is, even the labor cost can be estimated thanks to digital twins and digital threads, which is called as the digital threads and the life cycle costing. We have all studied in cost and management accounting life cycle costing. Now, with the digital threads and digital twins, the life cycle costing can help you to understand the complete product costing till the end of its life more accurately. So we talk about the benefit, I talked about it, I just want to touch upon one more important area on the ESG, correct? Sustainability is the buzzword all the time, and we have Mr. Bikaji is an expert in that. I just take some ideas also from him when we discuss a lot. He gave a lot of sessions on ESG in Dubai chapter also. Now, I want to share some of my thoughts. ESG is something very, very important. How costing and cost management is relevant in the ESG era. That's very important. If you talk about the level of seriousness, any 2 temperature increase in the climate is going to have a devastating impact on your flora and fauna, where it says if you do not control within 1.5 centigrade, but if you go to 2 centigrade, it will have a loss of 10% minimal of the animal and the plant species, losing half of their species life by the end of the century. That serious is the environmental problem. So we as cost accountants have to do a lot of things. These are various terminologies. I'm not getting into it due to time. The asset under management on the ESG market is going to be a whopping $53 trillion by 2026. So these all show the importance. So there are global initiatives coming from United Nations. Mainly it talks about the SDGs. We as cost accountants should be thorough with all the 17 SDG goals. A lot of gets cascaded to the country level. From the country level, it gets cascaded to the corporate level as well. So what is very important about this environmental planning and environment control is something called as the circular economy. We've been talking about only linear economies and reuse economies where still we have non-recyclable waste left. But in terms of circular economy, there'll be zero waste that cannot be processed further or that cannot be having a non-recyclable waste. So that is what happening. There are a lot of standards that is coming in internationally and globally and regionally. But due to time constraint, I'm moving on. European Union is the mother. It's the feeding mother for the environmental cause. They are the board holders. They are the people who are the champions of environment. So a lot of standards comes from them. And India has also done a lot of job in terms of BRR, in terms of business responsibility reporting. Started somewhere a long time back as CSR. When I was a student, we used to study something called CSR. So a lot of work is also done. And international standards on S1 and S2 has also come up on this. And if you talk about, I'm proudly, give a very big hand for the whole team there. Give a very big hand because this is the first ever and the only till now institute or a professional body in India which has given a guidance note relating to environmental or ESG or whatever you want to call them as. Basically, they talked about the guidance note on carbon credit mechanism, greenhouse gas accounting, ESG reporting. So this is the first ever body and still today the main body which has issued a guidance note on ESG. And you as members of that should be very, very proud of that. Take a note of that. Go to the website of the institute. Guys, take a time to read on that. A lot of work has been done on that. Now, also, I think our past president is there, president is there. They are all doing a lot of work on exposure that for the sustainable standards, which is ISS 1 and S2. And all these are very important because in every operations of your organization, sustainability has to be ingrained. Sustainability is the key word now. It has to be ingrained. So with that, what does that sustainability has to do with costing and total costing or total cost management? Now, when you are in the era, when you are in the world of sustainability, there are a lot of new things going to come. That's called the circular economy costing. We need to do I think new syllabus will be coming on this. I think syllabus setters here from the institute should look at it. What is something called circular economy costing and standard assets costing, transition finance costing. When you talk about going from these so-called traditional assets to the good sustainable assets, a lot of existing assets will become standard assets. We need to do the costing for that and we have to do the financing for the new type of ESG assets. So supply chain costing, life cycle costing, green technology costing, these are all coming in terms of, I think, last 2 minutes I'll take it, sir, to finish this. Modern budgeting system. So we talked about, our previous speaker also talked about how do you do a reporting, right? So how do you do reporting and controlling? In terms of budgeting itself, which is a very big topic, most of the financial courses, most of the financial programs talks budget as a separate standalone topic. No budgeting is great unless it is integrated with the strategy. Unless it is integrated with the strategy, correct? So strategy integrated budgeting, but in your strategy, now ESG is also getting integrated. So we need to do a budget planning wherein it is linked to the corporate strategy, vis-a-vis it is linked to the ESG goals of the SDGs of UN or your corporate strategy where it has to ingrain with your local ESG standards as well. So with that, if you look at it, I'm just giving you a model where from the ESG goals, it has to go to strategy, to the budgeting, to financial accounting. Means each and every line item, GL code of your trial balance should be linked to the ESG goals. That's what I'm talking about. Connecting the financial accounting to the ESG goals or the corporate strategy. And that doesn't stop there. And if you look at it, the whole thing, we do a vision, mission, goal, all analysis, then we make the corporate ESG goals. That should be connected to the cluster industry goals and finally to the United Nations SDGs, which is the 17 SDGs, which I showed you. If you can do this way, you're well tightened your budgeting in connection to your strategy, in connection to the ESG goals, in connection to the UN goals as well. This is a very detailed chart which talks about every budgeting has to go to the level of goals and objective levels and allocate the budget. People should not allocate or rather put the budget for department. For each department, this is also called as activity-based budgeting or strategy integrating to the activity level, going to that extent, grain to that level, and you pick up the budget allocation to that level. With that, what you do? You can also integrate that to the chart of accounts. So you don't put a budget for department 1 and say no. For the department 1, you need to have an Excel sheet or a chart of accounts. For each chart of accounts, we need to know what is the budget allocation. Say for stationery, for printing, whatever it is. So to that level you go, and that doesn't stop there. You do a GL level budget allocation or budget planning. But below stationery, there is pencil, paper. I'm being very, very minute to that. So we need to also do an operational code level budgeting. That's called getting the ESG goals of the United Nations to the corporate goals, to the corporate strategy, to the department strategy, to the chart of accounts and to the operational line items. If you do a budgeting this detailed, I don't think we will have any problem. So with this last slide is, how do you control the budgeting also? As I told you already, the concept of postmortem reporting of budget variance is dead. It's dead. Do not belong to that particular world. Hey, I take a pride in closing my P&L every month, comparing the actuals with the budget, then giving the report after 20 days, 30 days. Already the damages happen, and that damage you're reporting also after 20 days. Correct? It's like you're keeping the numbers in mortuary. It will smell bad, sir. Correct? Friends, let's understand we are in the world of real-time budgetary control system, wherein at every spend, at the starting level itself, you know that you're going to overshoot the budget or not. That is technically called, internationally as a user called encumbrance accounting or real-time budgetary control. And if you do that, I think we will be able to really control it. This is what I've learned. The greatest lesson in life is we have to learn a lot. Learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's what we need to do as stay confident and do a lot of good work to the society. Thanks a lot once again for giving this opportunity. We'll meet some other time in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramdas ji. It was a wonderful and detailed presentation. Perhaps there was a lot of shortage of time. You were to rush, and my duty is to manage time here. You are managing total cost, I was managing total time. So, with this, I request Krishna Kishore ji to give his perspective, and my again request is to manage time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, my dear friends and colleagues. First of all, I would say a big thanks to the CMA Institute, particularly to President B.B. Nayak ji and Srinivas Prasad ji and Manoj Kumar Anand ji and our Vinay Ranjan ji, my friend. And all the dignitaries, if you tell me, because I have a relationship, Sir was my guru, Ashwin Dalwadi sir, and sir, UPL, I was first company I worked in UPL, so I am also related. And for GAIL, we are the customer, Coromandel is a customer for GAIL. So almost Venkatesh sir, I know, TCM. So now I am very, very actually shocked because all the people have already explained about what is TCM, what is PC. So what I will do, I will try to explain the how part, how these TCM principles, what we have done in our manufacturing setup. I will take the concept, we can say TCM at manufacturing plant. So that is the agenda point. And if you see the presentation, so what I made, I have taken 10 major cost and cost components in the left side. And if you see the first one, conceptual understanding, basic textbook, what it is. And then the real-time finance system, that is information system, that is called generally we call as a MIS system. And third one is strategic cost management, how we are doing it. So third one is the creative part, where the knowledge is unlimited, where the real cost accountants can become a strategic cost accountants. And I will explain each of the box. Actually, it takes a lot of time, maybe total update it will take, but I will try to cover important points in each of these boxes so that it will be useful for you and for your understanding purpose. If you see this material cost, how the standards are being built. Some of the companies take last 5 years, best of the last 5 years, and some of the companies take average of the last year and put some percentage of savings so that the budget will be a progressive budget and standards will be a progressive standards for material cost. So what is the difference between financial accounting and cost accounting? You know, once you know the standard, once you know the actual, you get the variance. The variance is the part where the logical reasoning takes place. Because that is the where even I know, because we have experimented this AA also, AA cannot replace the cost and management accountant when you go to the higher level. So the variance part, reasoning part is most important in this bucket. And coming to the second one, if you see here, RTFS, which this is my favorite topic, which we implemented. Sir was already explained how the budget has to be real time. I will explain how we are implementing real time in our company and what are the results we are getting. You will be mind blowing to hear those results. So here, if you see the BOM, what is called bill of materials or bill of quantities, which you can incorporate in the SAP or Oracle. And nowadays you have the provision that if the consumption is going more than 5% or 2%, whatever you decide, the alerts will come instantaneously through the process order system so that you can take the corrective actions. Here, one more thing I want to tell, how we need to get the data. So Sir was explained, we need to get the data on the minute-to-minute basis. So there are some systems, like for example, being the cost accountant, you need to tell your management that you require some infrastructure, like flow meters for liquid materials, wayfeeders for the bulk materials, so that you can get the measurement. These measurements will go to the, we can say the CRISP system or what of the production interface system. What is the use of this system? See, initially I thought, why we are going so much digitalization, what is the use? But when you see the trends, because I feel trend is a friend. So if you see the particular hour, if the consumptions are going high, then you can easily detect somebody is, maybe production person is sleeping. So that time it's not coming correctly. So I just giving the example. So you can take that as one thing to control the cost. And one more thing, if any particular moment the production operator is very, very, very energetic and he produced a very good batch where he is getting the best yield, we can take it as a golden batch. And in that golden batch, how those parameters, input parameters are being acted. What is the reaction time? What is the temperature time? What is the pressure time? These things, if you are captured, that can become a model for the, or food for the final strategic cost, where we can have a predictive monitoring. That is called AI monitoring. We have done several use cases. So if you take the particular golden batch and the parameters what you are acting, that has become a standard and you just monitoring it. As Sir has said, anonymous manufacturing. This is called the anonymous manufacturing. Nowadays, machines are becoming intelligent. So if you put the machines, this data, by doing this correlation, regression and AI model Python, we have done one project for Python also, which we got a winner in the national level for Six Sigma. So I am telling the experience, how that experience will be. Now what we are going from the costing preparations to the real-time financials to the, what we say, strategic cost management by using the digitalization, AI and ML techniques. And if you see here, financial matrix, which I said daily basis, which I already explained. Generally what happens after the month end, you sit together, all the operations, and they say almost one day meeting, operations review meeting, they say this is the variances happened. Then what happens, all those good things, strategies, everything will just eaten away on the next day, breakfast. So your post-mortem is no more, which already Sir has said, and we have implemented it. How we implemented? Generally, if you say it to the people, 0.1% improvement or 0.2% efficiency loss, it will not sense anything, right? So being the finance person, what we have done, we put that loss in terms of financial figures. For example, 0.1% of, in our company, say for example, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potash, is equal to 8 to 10 crores. The moment I say that a component, 1 crore you have lost, the person who is sitting on the DCS operations or production operations just get down and say, so we have to correct it. Because you are adding the value for that. And when you are adding it immediately, real time, not at the end of the month. That's what we have done through this real-time financial modeling in our setup. And some of the latest SAP, you are getting actual cost and material ledger, where you do not to do anything. You just follow the processes. You will get the costing, inventory valuation at the month end. Now I can proudly say we are completing on first day itself our all financials. And coming to this next bucket, I will touch upon the power. It will take a lot of time to explain, but I will tell one or two things in the power. So what we have to do is, you need to just, once the standards are being prepared, every day, if you are having good meters, they just put that units into your production process, which Sir said, directly, Sir said everything is on the minute to minute. Quantum costing, he said. So quantum costing, little bit we have implemented in our company. So these units have been taken. And similarly, you can have what we say EMS, energy management system. So I will tell you what is the use of this energy management system. If you have the trends in each hour, one of the hour you may not be having production, but you still, the graph goes high, spike goes high. That means something idleness is going. Even in your houses also, you see, most of the times you don't, some of the people do not switch the lights. So that is all idle time. These are the, how, in the case of organizations, it will be a very big amount. Even in the case of your houses also, we need to have a control on that. So, and one more thing, what I want to explain on this, the third where is contract demand. Generally, what happens during the project time, people are very, very excited and they say we are going for expansions. They go on the left and right to the contract demand. But the cost account, you need to see what is the percentage of minimum commitment. So if it is 85% commitment, you need to pay whether use it or not. Some cases we have modified or calibrated. It was using only 60 to 70%. And then later it has been modified to that demand has been calibrated. So obviously we saved some 2 to 3 just crores in just one simple idea. So the cost accountants can analyze, diagnose the power bill like anything. You can have power factor improvement, you can have load factor improvement, you can have a consumption basis. What are the different sources of power you are having? Nowadays, there are, Sir said, not only the green power. So green power is not only the best for the environment, it is also cost effective. We need to work out what are the different sources we have, which source we can optimize it, and which source we can take it. For example, in the case of gas, there are different sources of gas. For example, if the lowest, cheapest gas is there, you just first go and consume that part by having a proper prediction model. We have done a prediction model for that, Python. The daily, based on the different product, based on the different, what we said, inputs, raw materials, based on the different parameters, we get what is the consumption to be. In that consumption, you need to allocate first, maybe this is the first gas molecule number 1, which is the lowest gas, and use the complete, this one. It is called optimization matrix. So finance has to play a better role here, not only in the left 2 boxes, which is making the standards and implementing the systems. And then final slide is what I'm trying to do is, that is my actually favorite, the creative part or passion part of my experience, what I can say. And here if you see, for some time, maybe a small example I will tell you, in your house also, if you put more heat, what it happens? Your cooking or curry, it gets burnt. Similarly, in the case of product also, if you give more heat than the required one, then your product gone. So what we have to do here? You have to put a sensor. Automatically it sends the product temperature and sends the signal to the valve where the gas comes or coal comes. They can moderate. So this is called variable frequency drive automations, which you can do in our company so that you can reduce the specific gas consumption or heat consumption. Coming to this water, and I will tell you one example. When I was in, I worked in Oman, Muscat. So small leak was happening in my house. I thought like just Indian mentality. I said, okay, leaking is going on. So when I got the bill in the month end, I have seen almost 30,000 rupees bill has come. Then I went and I just ran into the office and asked the water department, why you have put 30,000? Sir, here same thing, water is so costly. I didn't observe that one leak. And he said, there is a provision, sir, you can pay on the EMI basis. So that is the importance of water in other countries. Even in India, it will come soon. Sir, I have still time, sir, 5 minutes. Coming to this fixed cost, which I'll tell you, sir has explained how the direct apportionment to the products. Here also we can say that there are, you need to find out the cost drivers, which are the biggest good cost drivers or directly proportional cost drivers, you can take it. Because all the products cannot be one and same. All the things may not be one and so some of the drivers you can be machine hours, some of the drivers can be man hours, some of the drivers can be purchase orders if it is a purchase department, and some of the drivers quality engineer hours for the quality testing purpose. I worked as a SAP CO consultant, so I know there are in the SAP S/4HANA, there are some template allocation methods where you can create your own formula, and so that the allocation makes very good shape and you can get the better product costing so that you can take the better cost decisions. So in this, how the online budget control system, sir has explained about the quantum, I think quantum costing. How we have done here online budget control is that every purchase request, it comes to the finance department for finance concurrence. It is not bureaucratic, I will explain. If the finance person is so much collaboration with the business or with the operations, and they can understand the operations very well. They can put one or two simple questions. Is it worth to spend? And is it whether you have the budget? So what it happens in our organization, if you see, each user department gets the culture. So somebody is there for answerable. We have to answer the finance department, or we have to answer to the management. So that accountability, the culture is important, so that each budget will be, it actually all through comes in the workflow only. So we have to get the finance concurrence number, and we can move on. Coming to this one more point I will touch here. Padma Vyuha strategy, which I developed for that purpose. One is we do the weekly review of the P&L line items. So wherever something goes wrong, sometimes what happens, some of the people may not take the budget and spend it. So we need to understand that where it is going on, so that at the end of the month, you don't have the time to calibrate or correct it. So weekly we do the PL line item scrutiny, and monthly we do the monthly provision by tracking the comparisons of each previous months. Sometimes if you say, oh, manpower bill, you give 1 lakh, and next time you will give 2 lakhs, we just ask the question, why you are this one? So that is what I said, Padma Vyuha, where 3-4 reviews I have put it. And coming to this final bucket, which is the strategic cost bucket, there are some examples I will tell you, challenging the die-hard habits. So I will tell you example when I was in the Pfizer. So it is a greenfield project. So at that time, so each floor is having 2 to 3 persons to put the water, to put the chai. And his job is only 8 to 9 o'clock. And later he just sits in the maybe in the outside or in the pantry. Then I said, what is going on? So we just, we put the filters nearby, so many filters, water filters and chai filters, so that people go and take this one. They eliminated one cost. Because HR is having a habit that you need to have a person to cater. These are all the die-hard habits. And one more example, live example that tell you how the habits will be. So even during the initial project time, somebody said that we have different lines, different blocks, and manager. So each mission is having one manager, and each line is having one manager, and each block is having one manager, and the total plant manager. So what I asked, what is the requirement of this block? When each manager can report, how many, each person can take 4 to 5 reporters at least. So we eliminated that layer. So these are actually some of the things which habits people use it. So we need to be very careful and avoid those things. And some of the things are told that we can have manpower studies. Sometimes we can do the mechanization, right? I will see the company where 500 to 600 people are deployed to produce 2 million tons. And whereas in the same 2 million tons, other companies doing with 100 manpower. That is through total mechanization of the setup. So you need to understand what is the mechanization, possibilities are there. And if you see the great changeover, I will correlate with the formula A1 rise. So great changeover is nothing but the non-productive cycle where you are losing the production, right? So if you see the Formula 1 race, initially it used to take around 4 seconds. Now I will tell to all production people that now you please see how much they are taking, 1.82 seconds. So this is the way the people are growing. Such fast great changeover is happening. And coming to this inbound and outbound logistics, I will tell you 2 to 3 points here, nothing but. So here I mentioned that material handling cost per material movement. If you take the 2 examples like railway movement as well as road movement. In the railway, what it happens, wagon, you need to load the material, transportation will happen, again unload the material, and then you are putting in the godowns, and then again putting. So in this direct road movement, what will happen, you are having only one cost component from here to the customer. So I am not propaganding that road has to be there. You need to be a cost accountant, you need to think from each movement, what is the cost per movement, and which is the best, and what is the inventory level. That way of analysis you have to do. And one more point I will touch upon. We used to have 4 to 5 godowns around the factory, and we have calculated the nearest godown, what is the cost, and the longest godown, what is the cost. When we read in the operations research during our CMA, there is one transportation problem. In the transportation problem, you know the lowest, maybe the distance, lowest is the cost. So first you need to fill all your materials in that godown and then move upon to the next godown. That type of operational matrix you need to develop. These are all not the big science. Actually, these are all only common sense which you can say we can do it. So 2 minutes, sir, completed this one. So coming to this last slide of me. So if you see the product hierarchy, which we can do, if the market allows, what we can do is you need to produce the high GC products, and which the cost and management can recommend it, that anyhow you people know. And one more thing, what you can do is if you are having 3 to 4 production trains, and if you are having 10 products, you need to see which product is more suitable to which train with the lowest conversion cost. So what we have done is we have just given one matrix that first you please put this, say for example, DAP in this train so that you will get the conversion cost lower, and then you can put the other products. So these are the habits which you have given to the operations staff. They do it in production planning in every day. Coming to this next one, sir has said that this quality. So what we have done is cost of poor quality. So what is that mean is you need to track not only the cost of that product, not only the cost of the reprocessing, you also have to do the regulatory cost to that, because when you have this problem of poor quality, you need to have customer complaints or complaints from the fertilizers or from the regulatory bodies. Once you put all these things and put the costing and say this is the cost of poor quality in each month, if you say, automatically the things will automatically set right, because you are showing the trends, you are showing this cost. And design to cost, I will give you one example, life cycle costing, how it matters. I told you how portion I will explain. For example, if you take the pump, the cost of the pump may be 2 lakh rupees, and the operations cost for the total 10 years of its life may be 98 lakhs, it may be 1 crore. So some vendor too, you may be giving 2.5 lakhs rupees, but if you see the 10 years period, it may be the 80 lakh rupees. So that is called life cycle costing. You need to say that just for 50,000, if the pump's efficiency, pump's curve has been given better, then obviously you should educate them that don't go on the L1 basis, because purchase say only the L1 basis, finance has told. But a cost management, you have to see the life cycle cost and you can recommend accordingly. And final one, what I wanted to say is TCM, which for my understanding, because almost I'm having 3 decades of experience, it is nothing but common sense and emotional sense. How we can do is that to go Gemba works, which we have, which we used to do, so that by seeing, by observing the criticalities, only thing is that people have the mind of NOD, it's a normalization of deviation. So it's chalta hai. So, but the person who takes into his observation and work upon and make things to do list, those person can make successful. So I will tell you one more thing. I have done Black Belt Six Sigma, and I have also done Business Excellence, SSR, so many companies. In all these areas, whether you talk about Six Sigma, whether you talk about Business Excellence, whether to talk about cost and management, one is important is you need to challenge the status quo. You need to raise the bar, keep raising the bar. You need to improve, continuous improvement. That's all. There is no big science as per me. Just grab the opportunities. If you ask me, once I went to one of the companies and we observed that they're doing e-auction, reverse e-auction for the procurement. We just implemented it. So got very good results even for civil procurement. Around 40% has been cost reduced. Almost within no time, 2 to 3 crores has been saved. So that opportunities will be available. Only thing is that grab that opportunity, note it down, implement it. So what I mean to say is जिद्दी लोग होते हैं ना, वही लोग successful होता है. तो जिद्दी चाहिए CM को. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I have taken a little bit more time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So time was limited certainly because the panelists were to rush through their views or presentation. And it also indicates how passionate or how important his subject was. So I hope that these slides presentation will be available at institute site, and therefore you have opportunity to go through, and whatever questions you may have, you can certainly connect with the panelist. And before I started the panel discussion, I told you that I will share some of the practical examples of cost saving, the perpetual cost management. I will certainly share with you, and I will not take much of time. Complacency is one of the biggest challenge in my view to not manage cost. And Krishna Kumar ji was saying, that Krishna Kishore ji was saying that challenge the status quo. That's what we believe and we in GAIL do every day. So I will share some of the examples. Every organization have got, say, traveling allowance bill, medical allowance bill, and so many personal claims. So what we have done, we have not only centralized these processes. We are the organization who is there throughout the country. But then what we have done, we have centralized at single center all these personal claim processing. And why? What is helping? Apart from the significant reduction in time, it is bringing uniformity. The earlier, the claim which used to pass in 7 to 15 days, now these claims are passed in 1 second. The 40% bills are passed in 1 second, even in less than 1 second. I will share how. We have actually defined the standard operating procedure in terms of how this bills to be processed, and the moment employee submits the bill, AI clears the bill. The 40% bill which used to be passed in 7 to 15 days time are processed in 1 second. So that's how not only you have increased the satisfaction of your own colleagues, the employees, it is resulting in significant amount of saving in terms of manpower cost. Similarly, we have also created a vendor invoice management center, again centrally at our one place, Sector 62, Noida, where the vendors invoiced are passed transparently, faceless, and bills which used to be passed in 15 days now being passed in finance in 1.5 days maximum. Again, we have also started central invoicing cell. Earlier, our invoicing used to be done across so many sites. Again, as I said, that we are the company who is through there in almost all these states. So at Delhi, we are doing the invoicing of our all customers, and that is also done at a very, very transparent and also in an efficient manner. Similarly, in order to work out or see what is the process we can change, how can we save? So we started one project Sanchay, way back in 2015, and we set a target of saving of 300 crore rupees. So based on use cases, we identified, we found lot of process change we did, and we were able to achieve more than 300 crore rupees saving target. And based on the success of that project Sanchay, we have now recently launched Project Sanchay 2, and we have target to save more than 400 crore rupees. What we do, we see what are the processes which over a period of time needs to be changed, how can we work out and reduce the cost. And one of the example, being a finance colleagues, whenever we make a total cost, we assume certain cost of financing, and one of the job we do regularly track the interest cost and continuously do refinancing. And let me share with you, way back 3 years back, we swap our interest rate cost of around 8% to 2.5% by selling our dollars. We had dollars in market and swap the interest, the INR loan to dollar. So that's how we saved significant amount of money, and this is a continuous process. That's what I said, the perpetual costing is nothing but a continuous process. You need to track where you actually are missing, and how can you change your systems, processes, reduce the cost. And I actually usually take the example of GPS. Whenever we go out of home to a place, Why we put GPS? We know the way we can reach to the from A destination to B destination, but GPS gives you the alternate and efficient way of reaching that saves your time. So that's how we need to do in our day-to-day life. How can we track our time or cost and reduce it? Again, thank you very much for your patience hearing. And again, thank you very much for panelists for giving the insights about their own organizations, how they track, or their own knowledge shared from all of us, including me. I got also enriched by their presentations. Thank you very much. Before I invite you for thanks, vote of thanks. Thank you.
Jai Jagannath. Good afternoon, everybody. Honorable Chairman, Jai Insab, and other dignitaries on the dais, and our immediate past president, Dalwadi ji. See, when we have the task of giving thanks to everyone here and all of you, I should start with our council. President, Vice President and Council has chosen the most important topic. And I thank them for inviting me in this session also, not only because of my Dubai friends, because 40% of my professional revenue I earn from Dubai. And also from the practice of this cost management. So this is the thing, Jain Sahab, Chairman Sir, first time I am meeting you. Thanks a lot. You have done tremendous work for our profession. Not only that, you are every time, whenever our council members go to you, you always try to help our institute. It's our passion that we are here. We are here for the institute. I'd like to thank you for your continuous support. You are taking our students, those passing out members in the campus also. I request you to please continue these efforts and help us always. Now, our Honorable Speaker, Nagesh Babu, has started very nicely, and from, he's actually set the tone and said whatever we can do in the total cost management aspect, and they are all practitioners. Then I have got my friend, he's like my brother, Bikash. Vikas recognized me first time because when I was chairman in EIRC, he used to be student in Calcutta. And when I met him in Dubai, he first came up to me. And he's so successful and so passionate about CMA. Whenever we call him, he comes all the way from Dubai. He used to manage a big international company, that Olam, and now he has taken over as group CFO another company. But he is totally passionate about our profession, our institute, always helps us. Thank you, Vikash. Please continue. And we have Ramadas sir. This is for the third time I am listening to him. Every time, so pertinent. He gave a 360-degree view of total cost management, what we can do and how we can implement. And excellent speech, yes. Then, thank you very much. Then we have Krishna Kishorji. Actually, he touched my heart. Means, this is, I always maintain, cost management is nothing but common sense and your passion. I always request my students, I'll continue to request that whenever you are working in the organization as a CMA, just don't take it as another job you are doing. That morning you are coming to office and do the clerical work like that. You need to know each aspect of cost. Now it's very easy, with the technology and these things, we can capture all sorts of costs. But we should have that interest. What he said, jiddi hone chahiye, passion should be there, and that with that passion, you can implement cost management. Now, and we have our members here, but as a council member, we are called to talk on the topics and all in this. But I would like to share something which you must be interested to know also. I'll take just 2 minutes of the time. Before lunch, I know hungry person is an angry person, but nothing like that. We'll be in time, we are on time almost. One thing, I'd like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank all our past presidents, former presidents, and that because of them, galaxy of former past illustrious presidents are here. Because of them, I am standing here, we are standing here. Please give a big hands to our all past presidents. They have set up the foundation. It is because of them we are here. Now, our members from different chapters, regions, they have contributed a lot. Our chapters are the backbone of our profession. All the members of our chapters, thanks a lot, and give a big hands for all our regional council members, chapters, former chairmen, present chairman, and I will be failing in duty if I don't mention especially about this Bhubaneswar chapter. Wonderful work to make it successful. And last but not the least, I would like to thank all our employees are here, our students are here. See, all of you are there. Because of you, I am here. We are here. And I must mention here, it will be very pertinent to mention here, I was in the council 2015 to 19 also. Its council goes on like, see, there is something will give you there would be differences of opinion. It's a political process. It's quite common. Nothing negative about that. Everything is positive there. But this time, under the presidency of our Oshinji Dalwadi, we all 15 members started working together, and that shows the success of this conference also. And everywhere we have been working, we have been given the charges of individual department. I was very happy, Mr. Ramdas has mentioned about sustainability standards we came out. Ashish Thatte, I am also member of SSB board. So I know how much efforts have been given to bring out those things. Then Neeraj Joshi is working on this management accountant. Last only 6th May, we had a function in Delhi also, that International Management Accounting Day. So we are focusing on that. And every department, I am the chairman of membership committee. I am also the chairman of members in industry and PSUs committee. So whatever we are doing, we are taking the opinion under the leadership of the president, under the leadership of vice president, our senior council members are there, and all decisions are taken collectively. So I am telling you, there may be grievances from the part of this. It's a big institute. We 15 members cannot change. We need your help. Chapters, students, members, all please cooperate with us and give us an opportunity to excel. And definitely we will be excelling. And with these words, before I conclude, I would like to mention the special thanks about all those contributors, our sponsors, and the CMA members also who are here. I would like to request all the members you are in organization, please talk to your management and ask for the campus placement for our this institute's passed out members, passed out CMAs also. So as a CMA, we will excel together. All of you are my family member. Anything you require, you can always feel free to contact us. And with these words, I once again thanks a lot and thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.